Today is all about vegetarian recipes. Not because I'm a vegetarian, I love my bacon, but I am trying to incorporate more vegetarian options into my family's repertoire. And I've been testing recipes, and these are the recipes that really seem to resonate with my husband and my daughter. My favorite of the things I've tried are these braised collard greens with coconut milk and a little bit of curry. Then I'm gonna show you the easiest baked quinoa recipe with kale, chickpeas, and it's topped with creamy feta. Next up, a savory bread pudding made with roasted butternut squash and spinach. But first, I'm gonna show you how to take millet and make it into a vegetarian burger that has a hearty flavor, holds together well, along with a cilantro mint sauce. And we're gonna get started with the sauce first to get it out of the way so it can sit and let those flavors meld while we make the patties. So using the blender, I have a good amount of fresh cilantro here, 2 cups of the leaves, and a cup of the mint leaves. About a 1/4 cup of chopped fresh onion. Next, a 1/4 cup of yogurt, and this is gonna give the sauce a nice creamy consistency. You wanna make sure that's plain yogurt, that it's not sweetened. About 1.5 teaspoons of sugar, 1/2 teaspoon of ground cumin, and a little bit of salt. And last, a little squeeze of fresh lime juice. Now we're just gonna blend it till it's nice and smooth. You may have to stop it to scrape down the sides of the blender. Just you want to get it mostly smooth. It should look like a pesto. Oh, this tastes so good on the millet cakes. Actually, this tastes good on a lot of things. Awesome. It's about 1 cup of sauce. Now, for the millet, which is a bit of an unusual grain in that you don't see it around very much. Now, millet is really easy to cook. You combine 1 cup of millet to 2 cups of water in a saucepan, a little bit of salt. You bring it to a simmer and then you just cook it low and slow covered until it's tender, 15-20 minutes. Then when all the water's gone and the millet's nice and tender, you wanna let it steam in the pot with the lid on for 10 minutes off the heat, and then you're ready to go. So this is the millet that I cooked, and it's in a bowl waiting on the other ingredients to make into cakes, starting off with a shallot, which I'm just gonna mince. Cut the shallot in half. You want to cut it like an onion. So cutting it towards the root end vertically, once or twice horizontally, and then just down into a nice mince. Run my knife through it just really quickly, make sure there's no big pieces. All right, we're also gonna add some carrots into the mix. So I have 2 carrots here. Just gonna peel them and shred them on a box grater. All right. Gonna use a box grater. It's my favorite one. It's sharp as blazes. You definitely want to grate the carrots, not chop them, because the shreds will really help the cakes hold together. All right, here we go. Last bit is some spinach. This is baby spinach. This is 5 or 6 ounces. Now I say 5 or 6 ounces of spinach because this recipe was actually developed a few years back at America's Test Kitchen. And the recipe calls for 6 ounces of spinach because that's how they were sold in 6-ounce bags. But the volume of food and packaging has gone down, and baby spinach is something that has been affected. So now the boxes and bags are 5 ounces. So I'm just gonna heat up some oil in this 12-inch nonstick skillet over medium heat before adding the shallots. Now the shallots you wanna cook for a few minutes till they're softened and lightly browned. Then in goes the chopped baby spinach and the shredded carrots. Cook them down until they're wilted for a few minutes. Then I'm gonna clear the center of the pan and add the garlic to that cleared part of the pan so it can really cook. Just 2 cloves along with a little curry powder, some salt and some pepper. Just wanna cook this until it's fragrant. Oh, this smells good. You can smell the curry and the garlic. All right, take it off the heat. We're gonna add it right to the bowl of the cooked millet. That little bit of curry, oh, it adds such flavor. We're gonna add a little bit of yogurt, just helps as a binder. This is a 1/4 cup of yogurt. Again, either Greek or regular yogurt will work. About 2 tablespoons of minced cilantro and 1 egg. All right, break up that yolk. I need to stir it all together. Make sure it's nice and evenly combined. There's no pockets of spinach or anything hanging out, no pockets of egg. Now this makes 8 cakes. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna sort of pack the mixture down into the bowl and then roughly divide it into 8. There we go. So we go in half. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. At least it's a starting place. Do you have to take the rings off or milk gets all of the rings? All right, so you want these patties to be about 3.5 inches wide. That way they're the right thickness and they'll cook through. And you want to chill these cakes for certain before cooking, again, to help them hold together. Minimum of 30 minutes, but they hold well for up to 24 hours. All right, these cakes have been chilled and they're ready to be cooked. I have a little oil heating up in this nonstick pan. Nonstick, pretty crucial for this so the cakes hold together. We're gonna cook them in 2 batches, 4 at a time. Notice I'm being pretty gentle. They get sturdier once they're cooked, but in their raw form, you wanna handle them pretty gently. They take about 10, 12 minutes to cook thereabouts. We're gonna flip them over halfway through. These cakes look nicely cooked through, so I'm gonna put them on a wire rack and keep them warm in the oven while I cook the second batch. This second batch looks good to go. Time to bring out the first batch. Oh yeah. Oh, the smell is so good. It smells weedy and you smell the curry. All right, second batch out of the pan. Now to serve these, I just like a very simple salad. I'm gonna show you how to make the simplest salad. My mother taught me this. I learned this back when I was 12. And it's just your favorite lettuce greens. It's just 2 ingredients. You add a little bit of olive oil, use your good olive oil, and a little bit of salt. I use the good salt. This is the French sea salt. That's it, olive oil and salt. It makes the best tasting salad. And I like that you don't need to mess with the vinaigrette. Just lightly dressed. All right, and that's dinner or lunch. Actually made these for lunch because I had a friend coming over once. Oh, it was so nice. It's like an elegant little lunch. The serving size is 2 of these a person. And when I first saw that, I thought, well, that's a lot of food. And then I ate one, and then I ate another one, and I realized why it's 2 per person. They're that good. Oh, a little of this cilantro mint sauce. I wish you could really try these with me because it is just, it's a shocker how good these are. The millet is just hearty. You get the sweetness from the carrot and then the curry in that sauce. Oh man. Next up, I'm gonna make a comforting bowl of braised collard greens and a coconut curry sauce. Love what you're watching? Take your cooking to the next level with our Essential membership. Get instant access to thousands of recipes, tips, techniques, product reviews, and step-by-step videos. Our Members app allows you to search by ingredient, set dietary preferences, and save your favorite recipes. For those looking to level up, our newest feature, ATK Classes, offers more in-depth instruction led by ATK experts so you can gain greater confidence in the kitchen. Start your free trial by visiting the App Store or going to americastestkitchen.com/YouTube today. Of all the vegetarian recipes I tested recently, this one was my hands down favorite. The flavor is so rich and intense that you just want to sit down and eat a bowl of it. So I've already started cooking. I've got some oil heating up in the pot. I've got an onion sauteing over there. And now I'm just gonna prep the collards. 2 pounds of collard greens. You could also use kale if you like, but I love collards, especially when they're cooked quickly, which I know, usually think collards need a long cooking time. This is not that kind of recipe. This comes together far less than an hour. Total cook time on the collards is a little over half an hour. It's a nice, quick midweek meal. Using my knife like a sword. Hi-ya, hi-ya. Collards seem like they'd be an easy thing to grow in your garden, right? They're so sturdy. Even if they got a little beat up, they'd taste good. Need to start gardening more. All right, now that all the stems are gone, just gonna cut these into about 3-inch pieces. I'm gonna line up the leaves, cut through into nice, biggish chunks one way, the other way, and we're good. Into a bowl they go. All right, there we go. That's 2 pounds of collards prepped. Now let's take a look at these onions that have been sauteing over here. All these onions look good. They're nicely softened, starting to brown a little bit, which is perfect. Next up, we're gonna add some garlic, 5 cloves of garlic. I'm gonna put it right through the press into the pot. Also gonna add a little ginger because ginger goes perfectly with the curry and the coconut milk. You want about 2 teaspoons of grated ginger. Up next, a little curry powder. You just wanna cook this about a minute or so till you can smell the curry toasting it in the pan and the ginger and the garlic. Oh, that's good. All right, next up, we're gonna start to add the collards. Gonna add about half of them. Let them wilt down, then we'll add the other half. All right, add the rest of the collards. There we go. Next up for the liquids, because as I said, we're braising these, so you need some liquid in the pot. This is a cup of broth. You can use chicken broth or vegetable broth if you want to keep it vegetarian. Either works here. And a whole can of coconut milk. Oh, yes. Now, the low-fat coconut milk versus regular coconut milk. I'm a full fan of the regular stuff. The low-fat stuff doesn't have enough body and not a lot of flavor. And that's all the liquid. So we're gonna bring this to a simmer. Gonna quickly cover this, let it cook a little over half an hour. That's all you need, about 35 minutes till the collards are nice and tender. All right, the collards have been simmering away for a little over half an hour, about 35 minutes. Now, for the broth, you can see it's pretty brothy. I'm gonna let this simmer uncovered for a little bit so that braising liquid can reduce down into a nice, rich sauce. And because it's so saucy, I love eating it over cooked rice. Now, rice, in theory, is one of the easiest things to cook because it's just water, rice, and salt. I manage to mess it up every time until I finally invested in a rice cooker. And it has saved my dinner more times than once. Also, I love that it keeps the rice warm while you finish up cooking. Oh, this sauce is thickening up nicely. Oh, I think we're done. Like a little bit of liquid left, a little bit of sauce so that the rice has something to soak up. It's just that fast. Needs a little salt, just a little bit of pepper, not a lot. And last, a little bit of lime juice, just to wake up the flavors. And of course, lime juice, coconut curry, it all goes together. All right, so here I have a nice big wide shallow serving bowl. Put a little rice in the bottom. Oh yeah. Now some of these collards on top. Now the recipe itself, it's another good old one, has you finish it with cashews and more olive oil, but I actually prefer just a little fresh tomatoes. And that's it. Oh, I'm looking forward to this. The richness of the coconut milk, the brightness of the curry powder finished with the lime. You've definitely got to try this one. Next up is another weeknight recipe, a well-loved version of baked quinoa with chickpeas and spinach. My family likes it because it has a lot of feta baked on top. All right, it's time for our third vegetarian recipe, and this one is a real fan favorite, and it's so fast. I think that's why people love it. Tons of flavor, hands off, takes less than 45 minutes to put together. And it starts with some baby kale, which I have right here. Now you wanna wilt it first, which just takes a minute or two with a little bit of water in the microwave. Get rid of any excess liquid, and you put it right into this 8-inch square baking dish. To that, we're gonna add the raw quinoa, a cup of raw quinoa. Now, quinoa comes in a variety of colors. It also comes rinsed or unrinsed. This stuff's pre-rinsed, which is good, because on the outside of the grain of quinoa, there's something called saponin, and that has a bitter flavor that you wanna rinse away. Gonna add a can of chickpeas I drained already. I also gave them a little rinse. All right, about half a teaspoon of salt, quarter teaspoon pepper. Just gonna stir this together. And I said it's baked quinoa, which means it goes in the oven and it's completely hands off. All right, set that aside. Here I have a cup and a half of water. Now we're gonna heat the water up in the microwave just to give the quinoa a bit of a head start. And since we're heating it up, we might as well infuse it with some flavor. So I'm just gonna grate some lemon zest into the water, making like a lemon tea. I'm gonna cover this so not too much liquid evaporates in the microwave. Just gonna use a plate because I don't like plastic in the microwave. In it goes, again, 1 to 2 minutes till it's nice and hot. All right, so I'm just gonna pour this hot lemony water right over everything in the baking dish. Make sure all the quinoa is submerged in the liquid, none stuck to the side of the baking dish. There you go, press down. Now I'm just gonna cover it with foil. Make a nice tight seal. Into the oven it goes, ripping hot oven, 450 degrees. It only takes 20 to 30 minutes until that quinoa is good and tender. All right, let's take a peek. Ooh, quinoa looks good. You can tell the little halos come off from around the side of the quinoa. That's how you know it's done. Oh, looks perfect. Just gonna fluff it up a little bit. I'm gonna add just a few more things to the dish. Here I have 2 chopped plum tomatoes. And you want the seeds and any of that gel inside the tomatoes because it adds good flavor and moisture. We're also gonna add a little bit of a vinaigrette. I'm gonna add a little bit more lemon zest. So we have some zest, gonna add a little juice. That's good. Gonna add a little olive oil, about 2 tablespoons, thereabouts. 1, 2, and a little salt and pepper. Use this fork to just whisk this together. Gonna drizzle it right over the top of the quinoa. There we go. All right, I'm gonna use the fork to just gently stir the tomatoes and that vinaigrette into the quinoa. Stir everything up. All right, last but not least, my family's favorite part, the feta on top. This is a good amount of feta. And this is the French stuff, which is the house favorite. All right, oh, it's a lot of feta. I was not kidding. There we go. All right, back into that 450-degree oven. Just wanna heat the tomatoes through, get that feta nice and hot. Only takes about 5 minutes. Ho, ho, ho. The smell of fresh baked feta. This dish is just so easy. I mean, it's hands off in the oven, around about half an hour. Incredible. Make myself a little tasting plate. Oh yeah, no shortage of feta. Now, the recipe doesn't say to do this, but I like doing it. Just putting a little bit of olive oil right on the plate. You could do it over the whole thing if you wanted to drop the casserole. The quinoa's cooked perfectly. It has that light lemony flavor, the fresh tomatoes, the baked feta. Oh, this is easy and so good. Coming up next is the last recipe of the day. It's a savory bread pudding made with roasted butternut squash and spinach, and it's perfect for a celebration like a brunch or even a holiday breakfast.
Love our in-depth reviews? Get the latest from our reviews team delivered straight to your inbox. Our well-equipped cook newsletter provides top product picks, no-nonsense buying guides, and must-try recipes. No extra fluff, just the smartest ways to shop, save, and cook. Sign up for free now at americastestkitchen.com/newsletter.
Now it's time to make this savory bread pudding. And it just has this sort of celebratory creaminess, richness about it. And I love that it's savory, not sweet, using butternut squash. Now, of course, you have to cook the butternut squash before you fold it into the casserole dish. So you have about a half a butternut squash, which is about 2 pounds. You want to cut it into pieces. So the neck is nice and solid. Again, we're looking for pieces that are about 3/4 of an inch, thereabouts. You're gonna get some bigger pieces, some smaller pieces, that's okay. And now for this part, the bulby part, I'm just gonna cut it into wedges like this that I can then cut down more easily into chunks. There we go. When cutting butternut squash, be careful. It's hard. You need a good sharp knife and wash your fingers. All right, so we're just gonna toss this with a little olive oil, some salt and pepper before we roast it in the oven. My patented trick, when I have to put something into a bowl, I pull the cutting board forward so it hangs over the edge of the counter. Then I put the bowl underneath and kind of scoop it in. Most of it usually gets in the bowl. All right, a little bit of olive oil, some salt and some pepper. Toss this around. Onto a rim baking sheet it goes. I've lined it with foil for easy cleanup. I just want to spread it out. All right, so that's the butternut squash. Now the other main ingredient in this is the bread. It's a savory bread pudding. The bread matters. This is a really nice baguette. Luckily, the store down the street sells nice baguettes. A supermarket baguette would also work just fine. And you want to break it into 1-inch pieces. You could use a knife and cut it, but I like the rustic look of the torn bread. The thing about making a good bread pudding where the bread still has some structure is you have to dry it first. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna roast the butternut squash and toast the bread at the same time in a hot oven, 450 degrees. Obviously the squash is gonna take a bit longer than the bread. Bread takes about 12 minutes. Squash takes 25, 30 minutes thereabouts. So they're gonna go in at the same time, but I'll pull the bread out a bit early and I'll give them a stir every once in a while. So bread on the upper middle rack, squash on the lower middle rack, and we're off. Oh yeah, squash is sizzling away. It's perfect. Oh yeah, nice and tender. All right, the squash is perfectly roasted. Gonna let that sit for a few minutes while we build the custard. The base of any custard is egg yolk. So here I have 8 egg yolks, large eggs. To that, we're gonna add a combination of cream and milk. So 3 cups of cream. 2 cups of whole milk. When I first tasted this, I came home and I told Ian, and then I started having dreams about it. I was like, oh, remember that savory bread pudding? And he's like, no, you never made it for me. And that's when I started putting it into the rotation when we started to try to eat more vegetarian stuff. It is so good. All right, break up all those yolks. We're gonna add some parm, about half a cup. The rest of this will go in the casserole. Gonna add some fresh minced thyme, about 2 teaspoons, a little bit of fresh garlic, 2 cloves, which I'll grate right into the bowl using my handy rasp style grater. There we go, 2 cloves of garlic, teaspoon of salt, 3/4 of a teaspoon of black pepper. All right. So the custard's made. Now I'm gonna grab this bread. I'm gonna add it to the custard and let it start to soften a little bit. You wanna give it a head start before adding the other ingredients. So, it all goes in there, even the crumbs. Just wanna stir the bread around, make sure it's all evenly coated with the custard. Now we're gonna let this sit aside, let that custard get all soaked up by the bread. It takes about half an hour or so, and I'm gonna stir it every so often. You can see the custard really got absorbed by that bread, which is perfect. Time to add the last few ingredients. Here I have some frozen spinach that I thawed and then I really squeezed to get all that extra liquid out. Now this is chopped spinach, so I didn't have to do any knife work. But if you did have just regular frozen spinach that wasn't chopped, you'd want to run your knife through it. No big hunks of spinach in here. There we go. And then let's not forget about the squash. It's been cooling off over there. Just loosen it from the foil. Shouldn't really stick. Using the foil as a sling, right into the bowl. There we go. Now you're gonna fold this together. You don't wanna break up the bread or the butternut squash too much, so be a little on the gentle side here, but you want it to be evenly mixed. All right, now into a 9 by 13 inch dish. I'm gonna add half of it. There we go. That's about half. Spread it out. Now I'm gonna sprinkle a little bit more cheese, about 1/4 cup of Parmesan. Then we're gonna add the rest of the mixture. Oh yeah. Spreading it out on top. Nice and even. There we go. Every last drop. Spreading it out. Last little bit of Parmesan on top. All right, that's it. This is ready for the oven, 350 degrees, about an hour. You know it's done when it's beautifully golden and the custard in the center is nice and set. This has cooked through to the custard was nice and set and it was gorgeous brown on top. You then gotta let it cool a little bit before serving, at least 10 minutes. You can see how hot it still is. It's great for like a buffet if you're having brunch because it stays hot for a while. The crisp bread with the little soft custard soaked underside. The combination of the roasted butternut squash and that creamy custard bread is so good. And also a really interesting option if you're trying to do something vegetarian for a fancy brunch. So millet cakes, you got the baked quinoa with the feta, the braised collards with the coconut curry. All these are really quick, interesting ways to either freshen up your vegetarian rut or incorporate some new flavors into your repertoire. See you next time. If you're ready to take your cooking to the next level, head over to americastestkitchen.com and get a free trial of our ATK Essential membership. While you're there, you can sign up for our free email newsletters and download our app. So, what are you waiting for?